Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Team Junya, Coffee Time. We're just gonna talk a little bit about what we're gonna be able to offer some advice for the community. Right now I have, Antito's, who's basically a professional in his field of tax and financial planning business. So, hi, how are you, An?
Well, first of all, thanks, Frenchie, for the invitation. You asked me to come and have coffee with you, but I wasn't expecting a camera. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Thanks for the opportunity. Yes, thank you so much. We have done various episodes and shows like this to kind of reach out to our community. Hence the name Team Junya. 10 years ago we started doing, social media wasn't that popular at the time, but we started going out to the community events and using the community center as a place where we provided free advice, clinics. We call it the Tax and Financial Clinic. And of course, on the attorney, Andy Tran was there, Hugh, Lam, Tuan, Tracy, the whole Team Junya was there. So I thought, hey, maybe we should come back, maybe even get something where we take advantage of the social media, the YouTube channel, the podcast.
And just let more the community knows.
Yeah. Well, part of it is just adding value to the community, right? Sharing, giving insight and perspective to our respective fields. You know that me as an IRS enrolled agent and a financial advisor, I do with tax issues every day. IRS, I take pride in the fact that I've been doing this for 18 years and there isn't a tax case that I haven't taken on, right? And on being the tax attorney as well, so that's also an area of expertise. And just the fact that I feel like within that, this last couple of years with COVID, it changed me. It changed the way I do things. It changed me in the way I see our community. Many of you know that I'm very active in the Vietnamese community. And
and one of your the community that you're helping out or a part of is Little Saigon of Sacramento, where you help pretty much a lot of the Vietnamese community, and a lot of them are like your client as well. Right.
Well, you can Google it, but this is not the episode for that. 10 years, maybe a little bit more than 10 years ago, the designation of Little Saigon was something that we couldn't imagine having be approved by the city in the county of Sacramento. And it was a good team of ours, Kevin, Nikki, a bunch of us got together. Kevin McCarty, the council member at the time, thought that, hey, maybe we should do something like we have in Southern California or San Jose, where Little Saigon is not just a destination for tourism, but a place where we feel pride and joy. A reflection, a hallmark of success, economic success, and I would say to a certain extent a recognition of the hardship, the struggles of the Vietnamese community, right? We've been here since 1975, and I feel like the recognition of that designation means a lot to Sacramento, but much is given, much is expected. When that happened, a lot of people are like, okay, what are you guys going to do now, right? Don't just call it a place of special and unique, and yet we don't back it up with real substance, right? That means support, promoting and encouraging folks to use that as a springboard for them to be more engaged in the community, engaged in the city, state, and local various projects or so. So I feel like that was my turning point. A lot of folks became active in the nonprofit projects and work. I became more active in the Vietnamese community at that time. As you can see, it's not just Sacramento, but many community. When you think of the Vietnamese community, whether it's community center or just an organization as a whole, is made up of mostly elder folks, right? Members tend to be in their 60, 70, 80, maybe back. These folks are in their twilight years and they're still active. Folks like me, maybe a little younger for you, Frenchie, but for me, coming closer to 50 now, right? A lot of us are recognizing that we're not Americans. We're Americanized, but we're not Americans, right? In the sense that we still have Vietnamese roots. We still can do so much to give back. And the community center, the community organizations like that give us a channel, a medium to to share and to pay forward.
Right.
So that's how I got active.
Yeah, which is why, I'm so glad that you guys started with Team Jingya, all pretty much a group of professionals where you guys are dealing with real estate, law, taxes, and on, all of that. And
Right.
basically it's a group of you guys has been doing for over 10 years in your field, right?
Right.
And right now you guys are just pretty much helping and giving back to the community with, your website, in which any of the community that you guys want to reach out to, go into salonmoms.com or
Our salon mom.
our salon, sorry, oursalonmoms.com. And of course, there's also the Vietnamese version that you guys could go to is salonyaden.com, in which basically there's also the Vietnamese version of
Translation,
every
yeah.
translation, in which the services that, the website, and also any advice that you guys may have, any question in any kind of field that you guys could just feel free and fill it out. And the professional of Team Jingya will probably gonna answer and try to see if they can help you guys in any way.
Right. No, good point, Frenchie. So people are like, yeah, Team Jingya, what the heck is oursalonmoms.com?
Right.
What is that? But honestly, within the last couple of years, we were really, really overwhelmed. We were slammed with calls. We were slammed with
And with COVID hits the last few years.
So we had to we couldn't do any more clinics. We couldn't do any more seminars, It's hard to get our folks to get on Zoom, right? So we decided to focus more on, let's pull our resources together and put into a website. And, we
Make
call
it more
ourselves,
accessible.
yeah, right.
Right.
But we also, at first, most of our clients were the salon owners, right? The salon workers, the
okay.
restaurants. And so me being a child of a mom, parents
right.
who are salon owners, and we felt like that was the backbone of our community, our economic, foundation, right? It provides us not just ends meet, give us education, and give us a way to pursue our own hope and dream for education, pursuit. But what we wanted to do in that website was just say, hey, everything here we have is for you.
Right.
Information about COVID, vaccinations, starting a business, closing a business, unemployment, PPP, EIDL, all the various programs that the government were pushing out.
Right.
Our folks were like, what the heck is that?
I was lost at the beginning too myself,
Right.
And thank you for giving us those guidance, and those, and especially all these extra laws and programs that they're having, it's good that we have a professional in the community that we can reach out to.
Thank you.
And we appreciate for that.
No, and it's not, I'm not a website designer. My business and my office, as anybody can relate and concur, we're running, a tax and financial planning business. We are not in a business to create website, do language translation.
Exactly.
Try to gather every resources available from unemployments to, like I said, grants and funding to put it on there. Or, if they happen to call and we're able to, to help them, no problem. They'll come in the office, we'll help you. But we wanted to get the people to go to the website first.
Right.
Get the free resources, get all the ins and outs, even express frustrations and their point of view, like what is going on with them and their perspective, so that we can gather, the information and then trying to find the answers for them.
Right.
It was just hard, really, really hard, Frenchie, to answer all the phone calls. Really, really hard. Even remember, we have a business to run.
And during the tax season as well,
Right.
and
Exactly.
pretty much it's all year round for you. There's barely any break time,
Right.
So all these incoming calls for inquiries, you don't mind helping, but it's just an easier there method through your website, to kind of organize
Vietnamese translation,
it. Right.
You can, if you can't read English, there's a Vietnamese translation. There are phone numbers, there are support lines, there are links to various places that you can, reach out to. But at the end of the day, I felt like there isn't anything out there that our team couldn't do in terms of, referring people or addressing some of the major concerns,
Right.
or pooling the resources of tax professionals, tax attorneys, professionals in the real estate, professionals in the risk management,
Right.
folks that dealt with small businesses, right? Get them all in there, and it helped their businesses too. Don't get me wrong, even though we're doing it for the community and mostly for free, there are people out there that did help them because it gave them credibility, right? And at the end of the day, for us, for me, I'm going to say this for myself, given our background, given how much we've have privilege to enjoy, I just feel like it's more likely than not, that everything that people see we do for the heart and for the community, not just for our own financial benefits, right?
Right. All of this,
hard to say that, yeah.
I mean, with your field, you don't really need extra income or anything.
Right.
It's more of like you're just going back and you're honored to be part of the Vietnamese community. You want to give it back to the Vietnamese community. That's why you're doing this,
Right.
Obviously, all of this is just a general ideas of what you guys can offer
Right.
into your website.
Right.
And, so then the community know what kind of resources they have available
Right.
with, Team Junya, and what kind of field, they ask. If we don't handle, at least you got to be able to direct to the right person if what kind of few question that we don't have,
Right,
and
right.
can't deal with. But at least you're just doing something out of,
Well, part of it's a commitment. I mean, a lot of us are in our 40s and 50s now, right? We recognize that, time is going by so fast, and our elders are.
Retiring,
they're not
hopefully.
going to be around too long. They're not going to be around too long. So I'm the elder. I'm supposed to be the grandpa now, right? But I feel like, how long should we wait until we start taking active, more engaging approaches and activity and behavior that will bring the community together, get us to the next level, inform us, engage us, educate us, and again, and when I say educate, it's not to say, oh, let me give you everything you want to learn. Let me share with you, and of course, if you see something that you disagree with or some other information to help it, let's engage, right? It just makes community better. But I think what we're missing for so long, and what we were trying to capture with the clinics and with Team Junya was that the resources are available. What we do every day, our client loves us, appreciates us.
Right.
But the other part of the community who don't get to see us, who don't get to see what we
Right.
do and the various professional work that we do, they're missing out.
Right.
Right. And especially after COVID, we found out that, man, our community is so
everything
behind.
is moving. Yeah, because
Yeah.
everything is moving to pretty much social media and
Right.
online.
Right.
And so we really encourage that you guys check out the website oursalonmoms.com and literally just bookmark that website, that whenever you have any kind of questions in any kind of fields, pretty much in life you're gonna worry about taxes, law, real estate, and furthermore, if you have any of those questions, just go to the website, fill out the quick questionnaire. Fill out your information, and then one of the member of the Team Junya is going to be able to reach out to you and address that question. If we can, of course, we can refer to someone else, but most likely, if it's a basic life question, we'll be able to help you answer. And again, we're just doing this to just helping out for the community. How about we digress back to how does COVID in recent years affect the community, of course, your business and everyone in Team Junya,
Right. Well, great question, Frenchie. It's hard for me to start because I've been asked this many questions many times.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the radio with NPR. I was obviously with the Sacramento Bee before when we talked about the resiliency of our community, right? After the war, as a refugee, as immigrant, coming here with nothing, built Little Saigon, and I think for the most part, those who came, on a boat like us,
right? We all
have come a long way and accomplished a
from
lot.
ground up.
But what I saw with COVID, Frenchie, was sad was that there was a disconnect, right? Between the overall community, I would say the mainstream community, and I would say this nail salon, the restaurant owners, the small business community, and let me just focus on the Vietnamese American communities, right? Is that many of us are very successful, make great money. Many of my clients, many are our friends and peers. But when something like that pandemic, right, that once in a lifetime, I'm hoping it's one in a lifetime happened, where everything needs to be done literally like step by step, or like things can change so fast, right? That you can't just depend on, going to Lang and Mall and read up on what's going on in the news.
Right. Everything is just not where it is in high tech right now, where you can get everything online, Google.
Well, yes. But where do we go for up to date information that are focused on our community, that speaks our language, that has the language support, but also have the business support, right? So my clients reverted to contacting their accountants or whoever guys or advisors they have, which are not very many, right? And then sadly, many accountants were not open at the time, just to be PC about this, right? To be frank, to be fair, a lot of them would just focus on one area, get their taxes done and move on. But when anything related to financial taxes, your P&L, your bookkeeping, whatever it is that you need to have in order to qualify for loans and grants and even just unemployment, like there's nobody there,
benefit.
right? And why is that? And so there are families
because most of them, if they're offering services that you do, they're considering hourly pay. Right now you're just like helping out with like free advice that you're giving to the people, and where they can get the resources.
Well, that's true. I think there are elements in our community that are what we would say cheap, right? That we want to pay. You don't want to pay for good service because, everything is like, okay, let's just minimize expenses. They see conversing or having a deeper relationship with your accountant is an expense. They don't see that as an investment, right? In which we should expect more of our professionals. And I put it both ways. I put it on, the customer, but I put it on the professional to step up to the next level, right? Again, this is not to say we're good, we're great, we were just juggling like anybody else, right? Trying to run a business, trying to help the community out, trying to figure out what's going on in the tax world, trying to figure out what happened with, with the state, with all the mandates of shutting down and reducing, and even the Sac County were giving us information about. Remember the time there were even strikes and riots and all that, right? It was just crazy, right? So my point, Frenchie, was what I saw was a disconnect. It was hard for us to push out important information to our community, but also hard for us to get our community to respond. Right? Because again, many of our community members shockingly do not have an email address. Many of our community members shockingly did not know how to respond in text messages or using apps to communicate or to get real updated information. You know what I mean? Yes, we refer back to friends, family, right? That the word of mouth. But man, when things are so dynamic and so evolving and changing so quickly,
everybody's taking care of
not
their
all
own
information you
business
get is
first,
accurate information either, right? So that's what I saw as a disconnect. You know what I mean? Is that which is maybe a turning point and a trigger point for me to do something like this. That I can't, keep complaining about why are we not get to the next level if I myself cannot get involved and being a contributing factor in that, right? And contributing factor not to say I got to be everything, I got to do everything. I mean, I'm overwhelmed and stressed most of the time, but at least do my share, my part, right? To say we can't expect the next pandemic to come for us to be the same.
Right. We have to be prepared and get pretty much our community to be on board and like know where's the point of information is pretty much.
Well, correct information, how to deal with things. If God forbid another pandemic hits, where do we go for resources? How do we get funding? How do we get support? What does it mean to prepare your financials to qualify for loans and grants? Right. I'm going to talk about the ERC later, but right now you got third parties doing this supposed credit for everybody who. These guys are not even professionals, right? And because there's so much money involved that I already got a bunch of clients complaining because they went through with these third-party vendors to apply for grants, and now the IRS is auditing them. Crazy. We have a sample of a letter that we're going to show you. But just something like that. Like, man, let's do your due diligence. Let's verify. Let's not just go and jump on to a program or a a credit that everybody talked about, and not questioning who's doing this.
Right.
Are they
The
in a position
credibility
to
of the
the credibility,
profession.
the ramifications of having to amend your taxes, you know,
Right.
and God forbid you get audited. Who's representing you? These are the basic stuff.
And speaking of that, why do you think those people go into those third party as opposed to, like, is it due to the price? Is it because this is a totally brand new program that they're so lost that whoever just offered them, they just jumped at it?
Part of it is that. Part of it is, I think I'll take myself as an example. We were behind on it because, frankly, there were just so many programs, right? And
since COVID,
and a lot of us were kind of like, let's be careful. Okay, and as an IRS enrolled agent who deal with audits all day long, my job is to make sure peace of mind, like double check everything. Don't just jump on, apply for something and then get that money and then later on realize that, hey, you didn't qualify.
Yeah, exactly.
You
or you have to pay back.
The law. Yeah, exactly. So I were part of that group that says, wait a minute, let's wait. And we did a lot of seminar. We went through tremendous amount of training, right? And other professional attorneys, IRS agents were saying, be careful. This is a field that's very subjective, and
it's
without
so
getting
new,
into
too.
the weed,
Right.
there are issues with qualifying wages, control group, like who are the family members are working there. If you got PPP before, then you got to subtract it out. The law did change to become more easier to qualify, but there was like 3 or 4 different iterations, right? Then the biggest issue is the whole tax amendment, because once you get the credit, you got to fix your taxes. So that issue alone was like, well, some taxes are not, it's not going to be good if they open a big can of worms. Let me just say that, right?
Yeah.
And some folks are very, very aggressive in their tax planning strategies. So it's not for everybody. But if your tax accountant is doing your taxes, all of a sudden some third-party guy offer you hundreds of thousands of dollars credit, charging them 15, 20% commission. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yet he or she doesn't represent you in an audit or doesn't do your taxes when it needs to be amended. How is that going to make sense to you?
Right. It's just right now you're getting the money, but then at the end of the year you have to either pay it back or you might get audited.
Right. Having said that, the credit is still a good credit. But please, before you jump on and whatever you see on WhatsApp or social media, double check. I mean, use us as a resource. We're not saying you have to come to us, whatever. Hey,
just making sure that you have all your information.
What qualification do I meet? What calculation do you need to use to show that we qualify? What are its consequences? How do I prepare for this? Does this commissions make sense? Who are these people that's doing this? Would they be able to protect me in case I get audited? These are some questions we have to ask. Right. And again, and I'm saying this not to say to be a cocky or arrogant. We are so busy and we're not even accepting new clients. But we're more than happy to respond to your question, more than happy to do our due diligence to help you. Because regardless of whether you believe it or not, the heart that we have from Team Junior is about the community. Okay? And that's since day one when we did the nonprofit work of doing the seminar for free. Before social media. We never did anything just to say we enrich ourselves.
I mean, with all the time that you put in, like recording just like these episodes that we've been giving out to you guys, just so you guys could understand that there's resources in the Vietnamese community and you guys should take advantage of it. If you guys don't know how, feel free to, ask a friend or family member to try to check in the website. And again, bookmark and star it. And whenever you have any questions in any kind of field, you could just fill out and ask quick question. Phone call may be good, but again, these professional in the Team Junior, right? They all have their own business that they have to run. They have their own case or, tasks that they have to do too. So phone call may not be accessible to them, but any kind of email on the website that you are sending out, any kind of quick question, when they get a chance, they'll be able to respond to you.
I think partly also, and I think we appreciate your time. My coffee's running out, so that coffee talk is taking a little long, right? But partly is also give us some feedback, right? There are topics you want to talk about. Send us, whether it's the email, text, whatever it is, right? Respond to our.
Any new program or questions that you have in upcoming laws or whatever you saw on the news that you're not sure of, feel free to contact our team Junya is going to be able to, address that in the next episode or maybe respond it to you directly.
Right. I appreciate your time. Anything else, Frenchie? I think we've done a pretty good job for this coffee talk. What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Can you get me some boba tea?